week 8 of the fantasy football season. And here's a few wide receivers I would drop this week. The first guy, Michael Gallup of the Dallas Cowboys. So Michael Gallup, a lot of people think he was going to get a boost with Dak Prescott back in the lineup. But in this one, he disappeared. He didn't do anything. 2 targets and got the goose egg. And he's a guy you really can't count on. They got a tough matchup on paper versus the Bears that give up the 29th most fantasy points to wide receivers on the season in week 8. And then a bye week. So the next 2 weeks here where he's not usable. And also a guy I'm not going to trust after coming off a goose egg. And in week 6 with only 3.8 fantasy points. He's an easy drop this week. I know after the bye week, if this offensive line could get healthier and Dak Prescott could be really 100%, maybe Michael Gallup could get things going. But coming off the ACL, struggling ball games and disappearing, he's just not a guy I want on my team right now. And he's a receiver I would drop this week. The next guy is Josh Reynolds of the Detroit Lions. So right here, Amon St. Brown, we saw him go down in that ball game here for this Lion team. And Josh Reynolds, he was supposed to step up, but he didn't do anything. And I know Reynolds this season has 4 games of double-digit fantasy points in PPR leagues and a decent matchup in Week 8 versus Miami. But right now, he didn't do anything in Week 7. He's banged up as well. And if St. Brown turns out to be good, I don't think we're going to see much of Reynolds. I know him and Goff played with the Rams many seasons ago, but right here, it was a tough week for him with only 1 catch for 8 yards versus the Dallas Cowboys. And the other thing is, only 2 targets, and he didn't play a lot of snaps, even with Amon St. Brown out from the second or third play of the ball game. So right here, it's not good usage. He's banged up, and there's better receivers on the wire this week. So right here, Josh Reynolds is a drop. No doubt he could turn things around and get going. But after what I saw from him in the last game with Brown out, he's not a guy you really can trust. And the third and final wide receiver I look to drop this week's Garrett Wilson of the New York Jets. I know Garrett Wilson's a rookie, one of the better rookies and top rookies drafted in the NFL draft. But how many opportunities are fantasy owners going to continue to give him and even run him out there in their starting lineup? The best game in Week 7's game with 6.40 fantasy points. Obviously, that's not going to get the job done. He had a good rapport with Joe Flacco, and Joe Flacco was getting him the ball. But Zach Wilson, I know the Jets are 4-0 since he returned to the lineup, but he's not getting anything going. And now with Breece Hall gone, defenses, they're going to zero in even more on Wilson, where he's the best playmaker on this Jet offense, I believe now, with Breece Hall out for the season. But right here, the numbers aren't there. The targets aren't there. And this Jet offense is built on running the football and relying on their defense to win games. So the last few games here for Wilson, Week 5 versus Miami, 3 catches, 27 yards. Week 6 at Green Bay, a catch for 8 yards. And Week 7 at Denver, 4 catches, 24 yards. So right now, no reason to hold on to him. He's not getting the targets. He's not putting up numbers. And he's a receiver I would drop this week. So that's a few wide receivers I'd look to drop here for Week 8 of the fantasy football season.